So there, Neringa, there's the finished decoupage that I promised you about 4 days ago. So what I did was I got a really nice pattern from the computer and sent it to my printer and printed it out. Hope you like it. So this frame here was brown like that, and I painted it white. So when you put the piece of tissue on it, you can see through it like that, whereas if you did it on brown, it would look all dull. So I paint everything white or grey. I like whatever light colour you have. The glue I use is Mod Podge, and if I can remember, I'll send Shane down with some to you so you can give it a go. Now this one I printed out, but the one you have would be tissue paper, and the tissue paper comes in 3 layers. So what you do is you wet your finger on the corner of the tissue paper and you separate the other 2 layers that have no pattern on it, and then you work from there. So I printed this out the same size as the frame, and then I have another sheet here that I'm going to have to do the sides with. So here we go. So I put Mod Podge on the plate. I even this out so it's pretty much perfect, and it's like putting on wallpaper. And Mark, don't move around too much because you get dizzy.
Sorry.
So here's the way I do it. So I start here like this, put your finger there, and what you're going to do is put a little bit of Mod Podge just right on the corner, like that. It doesn't take much glue to do it, and then just make sure it's nice and even. And then what I do is I just do that and tap the very start of it down like that. And then I go this way with it and I push it back a little bit so that part's glued in. So then what I do is I just put the glue here, try and not hit the paper, because if you hit the paper you'll end up with a little long line. So I go down, I don't go too far down, because by the time you get down to here with the Mod Podge, with a piece of paper, the Mod Podge, the glue will be nearly dry. So I only, for you doing it for the very first time, maybe only go to here with the glue. So I went to there with the glue, try to keep both sides as even as possible. Now when I'm putting this paper over, even though the glue stops here, you stop there with the paper. I'll show you now. So you'll have to come around the other side, Mark. And then you can show what I do here. So I leave it like that, as straight as possible, and then you show the way I move my fingers here. So I just go across it like this and make sure I get it all glued down. And try not to go too far this way and not far enough that way. Just keep it all nice and even. Right, I'm nearly at the end of where I glued. So what I do is, glue is stopped here, but I'm going to stop there. Because if I stop right at the edge of the glue, you'll end up with a line right across the piece of paper. So then what I do is, I'm on a roll right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue it all. You'll not glue as much because at the very start you may not be as fast at doing it as me, but when you get really fast at it, you can go halfway on something this size and then just finish it off at the bottom. So there, now my fingers are like this. And a frame's quite difficult because you have a dip in the middle here with no wood on it. So sometimes hard to do. And then do this side. And you see it all starting to stick on me. So try and keep it all out as good as possible. See, I've got a little crease there, but what you can do if you have a little crease, when you've put a layer of Mod Podge on the top of the piece of paper, when it dries you can sand. It's really good. Mod Podge takes a good sanding. And if you make a mistake, I wouldn't lift the paper too much because you'll end up ripping it because it's so fine. So there's the frame done, and it's all creased here. See the creases there because I didn't keep it straight. There's creases there, but by the time the whole thing, and there's a big crease here too, so I made a bit of a wobble there. So that's that done, and then what I do is cut a hole there, cut it out a bit because this inside part of the frame I want to decoupage it too. So there we go. And then what I do when it's a frame, so this edge here has to be decoupaged. So I put a little bit of glue on that. And a little bit up the corner there as well. And then just fold that down, and that's that piece decoupaged. Now the parts that are white here and here, you're going to just cut a little piece of this paper off and you're going to stick them on there. You're not going to notice that the pattern's not in line. You're not going to notice that the pattern's not working really when the whole thing's done. So a bit of glue there, and then pull that piece forward. And then a little bit of glue on this side. Pull this piece forward. Don't move around too much actually. And then a piece of glue here. Push this piece forward and then just put your finger on it and tap it down. So there's the pattern. Now the pieces that are missing, these white pieces.
Give us a wee showcase before you do anything else.
Showcase of the frame.
Yeah, what it looks so far.
So that's the way it looks so far.
Looking lovely.
Oh, see that little bit there that ripped on me? Right there.
Yeah, I see that.
So I'm just going to patch that in with another piece of paper. So these pieces here that are white still, all you have to do is put another little bit of Mod Podge there, rip a little bit of paper off, and oh, it stuck to my fingers. Just stick it on. Oh. Just stick it on like that. And I know it's overlapping, but you're going to sand all that stuff off. And then I'm going to rip another piece of paper off. And I'm going to touch up all the white spots. So there's another white spot there. And I will just take a little piece of this. Lay that over. And there's another white spot there. And the glue dries really well, it dries really flat, and it dries a nice matte. There's no sheen to it. Oh, there's another spot there. We need another piece of paper. Put another little bit of glue on there and just stick. And that's not really the right colour that. Let me get something to be a bit more matching in colour. Take this piece here and we'll put it on there. That's the whole frame done. And there's another wee bit of white. There's another bit of white here. So a little bit of glue there and another little bit of paper right there. So that's it. And this will all dry. I'll just cut these edges off. So all them wee bits that I put in, the edges are cut off now. got a better pair of scissors that cut better. And then
Aren't you cutting up the edges?
now I'm just cutting the bits that are sticking out. And I can't get out this piece because the scissors are no good. So there we go. You know something, if you see little bits of white in here, if you're doing a frame, just leave them until everything else is dry. I'm just rushing it right now. So what I do then is get your Mod Podge again and go over the entire frame with it. And these pieces that are sticking out will be sanded down. This takes about 15-20 minutes to dry. You know by touching it if it's dry or not, and then that's when you start sanding it. And that little bit there that has white on it, because the paper ripped on me. And be nice and gentle with your brush, because this here is like tissue paper, it's so fine. You can drag it with your brush and actually tear a hole in it. So I will leave this now to dry and come back to you and then do this bit in here as well. So when this is dry, I'll come back to you and show you how I sand it. It's not rocket science, I'm sure, as you know. And then we put the sides on, and we have this bit and this bit on, and the frame is finished. And what's really nice is pots. You can get like a plastic, just a regular plastic like garden pot, and you can decoupage them. The only thing is, if you buy napkins, the napkins tend to fade in the sun. But if you do nice pots for inside and it's not really near the sun, then you can have really cool pots. You can have really cool pots that are only you have them. So this is another piece of paper. I put it on a piece of this, tape it down, and this is the stuff that you wrap presents in. So this piece here is missing, but when I'm putting on the sides, I'll fix it up. So I'm going to leave it there, let all this dry, and be back to you in 20 minutes. Took me about 2 hours to do total. I left areas where I sanded. You can see it's down to the wood. There's little white bits in it, all around it. I think it gives it character. So there's two frames that I went into Dunnes Stores today and bought. That's the original brown one, and that's the one I decoupaged. So you could have it like that, and then I decoupaged that one, and I would rather have this one. It's original. You'll not find another one in the shops like it. Give it a go yourself. It's really good fun, but make sure the kids are in bed before you start it. And then if Shane gets down and he stands long enough, you can decoupage him as well. Happy birthday for tomorrow. Have a great, no, not tomorrow, Wednesday. No, what day is your birthday? Wednesday. Oh, your birthday's this week, so happy birthday. Have a great day, and everyone here says happy birthday as well.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday from the cameraman.